Alright, hey everybody, welcome back. I'm making this video on the fly. I was working on the Avengers video. I was sort of working also on a Mulan video, but The Mandalorian Season 2, Season Finale, Episode 8, Chapter 16 came out last night, and oh my god, man. I mean, that shit was crazy. It was such a good episode. So, spoilers, obviously, if you have not seen the episode, what are you even doing here? Alright, let's get going. So, Mando and Boba Fett go and find Bo-Katan and her other Mandalorian friend, and they ask for their help. And there's just like a really cool shot where Mando and Boba Fett walk into the bar or the wherever they're at, and it's just so badass. Like, and we're gonna get to this later, but I really hope that we see more Boba in the Mandalorian. I like Mando rolling with him. I like him in Mando's crew. You actually see him be a badass this season. And in terms of the movies, we've never seen him be a badass. I know that that's in the Legends, but just very cool all around. I also find it very interesting that Bo-Katan is still so power hungry. You think she'd learn her lessons from the Clone Wars, her time in the Rebels saga, and then now this is post Return of the Jedi, and she's still power hungry. She just wants to rule Mandalore, and maybe you think, oh, it's out of good intention, but she clearly just wants power, and it's just very interesting. You think her character would have evolved beyond that, but they always say Mandalore is just a trash planet, not just because it's been glassed by the Empire, but because everyone on there is power hungry. No one wants to help anyone. They're all just power hungry people, and that's why they have continuous infighting, and they've been doing it for thousands and thousands of years. So I find that very fascinating that she's still like that, and I do believe we're going to be exploring more of that in Season 3, but we'll get to that later. The biggest thing from that episode was Luke Skywalker. In the episode, he is the Jedi to answer Grogu's call, and it was actually Mark Hamill. They just used that really sweet de-aging tech that we know that Disney has, that we've seen it in Captain America Civil War with Tony Stark. We've seen it with Tarkin in Rogue One, and it looks very good. It's so spot on. Now, in the one with Tarkin, he was dead, so it was a little bit different. The actor was dead, so it's a little bit different. But with Tony, it looked really good because the actor was actually there. And same with Mark Hamill. He was actually there, so it looked really good. And when the hood was taken off, and I was like, oh my god. I was like, who did they get to play him? He looks just like him. And then I thought maybe it was a mixture of that plus de-aging tech and the Rise of Skywalker when we see young Luke. What they did there, that was no de-aging. They just took his face from the old movies and slapped it onto someone else's body doing the stunt. So at first I thought it was that, but then I kept looking at it and I was like, I don't know, I think this is Mark. And then I looked into it later and it was Mark Hamill, and that was awesome. We have a really cool scene of him doing his version of Vader's corridor, where in the end of Rogue One we see Vader just kill all the rebels, and we see how truly powerful Vader really was, because that's something that's not really shown in the original trilogy because it was made so long ago. We get a glimpse at it, of course, in the Legends and even the prequels. We see how powerful Anakin is. But so it was very cool in Rogue One to see that. And then same with Luke Skywalker. We didn't see too much of that in the original trilogy. We did see it in Return of the Jedi. It's part of the reason why I love Return of the Jedi, is because we see Luke being a Jedi Master, and we see even more of that here. We see how much better of a Jedi he is at this point. And it's just such a great scene. I've watched this clip several times over, and it's just incredible to see his version of it, the side-by-side comparison. It's just awesome. And we get to see the sweet, sweet, sexy-ass green lightsaber. I mean, that is Luke Skywalker. It's so amazing. And that's, again, something I didn't like about the sequel trilogy. And I may make a sequel trilogy video, because the more I think about those movies, I get a little upset because of how much could have happened, but that's not what this video is about. We'll get to that later. But again, we see it when the X-Wing showed up. I was like, oh my god, who is it going to be? And then I saw the hooded figure walking down. I was like, is that Ahsoka? I was like, she wouldn't come by now, right? She said someone else would. And then I saw the green lightsaber, and I was like, is that Luke? I was like, oh my god. But then I was like, well, it could be Ezra, because Ezra had a green lightsaber. But I was like, no, they'd probably save Ezra for the Ahsoka TV show. And then when I saw the hand, I was like, oh, that's Luke. That's 100% Luke. And then later we see the actual lightsaber hilt, and I'm like, yep, that's Luke. And it was just incredible. And, I think that's something as the fans we deserve, because we wanted to see a version of Luke in his prime in some form of live action. The Star Wars Battlefront 2 campaign has a good version of that, and that is actually canon. You do one mission as Luke, and it's great to just see that. Then again, to see it in live action, it's pretty fantastic. So the future of the show. So we saw Mando defeat Moff Gideon, and he now has the Darksaber. And Bo-Katan was like, I can't take it. I don't want it, blah, 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 blah. Now, fans of Rebels, of Star Wars Rebels, were like, hey, she straight up just took it from Sabine when Sabine gave it to her. So why does she not want it now? So I have a couple theories behind this. I think the fact that she did take it from Sabine and she clearly lost it and was not able to rule Mandalore prop. Maybe that's why she thinks that she needs to win it in a duel and then have a great story like how Moff Gideon was saying. So maybe that's why. But at the same time, maybe she also accepted it from Sabine back then because, well, Sabine didn't defeat anybody to take it. She just got it from Ezra, and Ezra just stole it from Maul's place. No one actually defeated Maul for the right to have that blade. So I actually personally think that Mando is going to keep it. He's going to go to Mandalore, help them out, and then she's going to try to backstab him or something. He's going to defeat Bo-Katan, and then people will maybe rally around him, or maybe they won't because he's an off-planet person, you know? And then he's going to be like, F this, I'm out, and he's just going to take the blade. I definitely think he's going to take the blade with him. I think that'd be just awesome. And we saw him just walking with it when he brought in Moff Gideon, and it just looked so badass. Mandalorians are fucking nuts, man. I mean, they're all crazy. They're so power hungry, and they're all stupid. Like, they literally could be the best army and the best everything, but because they're always infighting, they're just a bunch of dum-dums. Like, when we saw Bo-Katan's friend fighting Boba Fett, I mean, like, just like, calm your horses, alright? Like, literally, this man is the son of Jango, the one who created all the clones, you know, a quote-unquote Mandalorian. I mean, arguments between what is a real Mandalorian, you know? I really do like the Creed version of it. I don't like the idea that, like, oh, you're just a Mandalorian. I mean, we saw that in the Clone Wars. You're telling me all those people on those planets are Mandalorians? I mean, they're terrible people. So I like the idea of a Creed, and I feel like Boba fits that Creed as a good man. Now, getting to Boba Fett. Oh my god, so there was an end credit scene, and when Boba goes back to Jabba's palace, we see Bib Fortuna, who is like, I think he's a Twi'lek. I mean, I don't entirely know, but I think he's a pink Twi'lek. He was the guy from Return of the Jedi, and we assumed he had died, and then it turns out he did not. There is actually a Legends comic of him escaping, and then he becomes like part robot or something. So, kind of cool. Again, they're tying it to the Legends. He had taken over Jabba's Hutt cartel, and then we see Boba Fett just walk in with Fennec Shand, and he just straight up kills him, and he sits on Jabba's throne. So, like, oh, okay, this is going to be very interesting. He's going to be ruling over that version of the Hutt cartel and that sector and all of Jabba's dealings and everything. And I think that can make for a very interesting show. When Darth Maul did the same thing and was one of the kings of the underworld, I thought that idea was so fascinating, and I really want them to explore more of that, honestly. We got a good amount in Clone Wars and whatnot, but I wouldn't mind a live-action miniseries like this. So, at the end of the show, it says the Book of Boba Fett coming in 2021. There's been rumors that this show has been filming right now, actually. So now that it's confirmed, it's going to come out at the same time as Mando Season 3 in December of 2021. So I think there's potential crossover, potential connected storytelling. Maybe Boba and his own world help Mandalore, but then he takes it for himself. You gotta remember, even though some of these characters are good people, everyone's looking out for themselves. So very excited about the future Boba Fett show. Excited about Mando Season 3. Will we see Grogu? I think we will eventually. A lot of people were freaking out last night, and we're like, oh my god, we remember what happened to Luke's Jedi Academy. You know, Kylo Ren kills everybody with the Knights of Ren. Well, at this point in time, this is 19 years before Kylo joins Luke's Knight Academy. Maybe we won't see Grogu for a little bit, and he'll return to Mando, you know, a bit more trained and a bit older. We know he's 50 years old, but we also know that at 100 years old, Yoda was a Jedi Master already. Now, again, that's 50 years from now, but we don't really know how that species ages. So I definitely think we're going to see him sometime in the future. I think he's safe from Kylo. And just like how Ahsoka survived the events of the original trilogy, because the galaxy is so big, I believe Grogu, Mando, and just like Boba Fett, some of these characters will be surviving and they will be going on. I think that the conflict that we see in the sequel trilogy, just like the original and then the prequels, is, you know, it's happening between a lot of people and a large group of people, but at the same time, there are so many people in the galaxy and so many people in different places that it doesn't affect everybody. I think there's even a throwaway line in season 1 that someone said, oh, you know, Empire ruled for a while, now it's a new republic, you know, whatever, someone else will come along later. That is just the way this galaxy operates. A lot of people are just like, yeah, whatever. Now this person is claiming rule. Doesn't really bother me, etc., etc. So actually, I find that very fascinating. So that'll be it for this video. Thanks for watching, everybody. If you liked it, leave a like. If you want to leave a comment and we get a discussion going, leave a comment. And I'll see you guys for the next one. Man, I love Star Wars. Also, guys, I just wanted to mention, I love how when Grogu sees R2-D2, he recognizes him, and that makes sense because R2 would have been at the Jedi Temple with Anakin, and Grogu, we know, was definitely there too. So I just love those little connections that they just keep throwing in The Mandalorian. It just makes it connect to the bigger universe, and it's just amazing. So again, shout out to Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau for bringing Star Wars back, making it amazing. I just love it so much. It's so great.